its audience mistake that the misogynist movies are being, blockbuster hit, or they're being great success on the box office.
In South India, we see all these very mass actors like Vijay, Tala, everyone's movie, Rajnikant's movie, where people go there at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning to see first day, first show. Until that fan community is alive, theaters will stay in business.
So many films from the Bollywood side are being released on in cinema halls that they are literally competing each other.
If the OTT platform or the OTT services were available at the time of the golden age of Bollywood, do you think the blockbuster movies would be still blockbuster?
I will take an example of Lapata Ladies.
Yes.
Okay, it was like utter flop on the theaters, and when it came to OTT, people loved it, and it's nominated in the Oscars now.
People, the audience who are watching, they are not going for the message that film is given,
Yeah.
but rather they are going for the entertainment which they are getting for that film.
True.
Rolling action. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to fascinating discussion on the topic that's shaping the future of entertainment. I am Prachi Duggal, and I'll be your host for today's panel discussion. A little while ago, I was thinking how the meaning of downtime has slowly changed, and how people have chose to unwind and relax themselves has also evolved. From books to radio to television, every generation has their unique way of enjoying stories. And we are in the middle of a big shift. Remember when watching movies used to be like this big event we all used to look forward to? We used to plan our entire evening around it, grab our popcorns, and settle on those comfy seats while the lights dimmed. But haven't the things changed? Yes, they have. Today, we are more comfortable while we curl around our sofa, couch, and watch streaming platforms like Amazon and Netflix. The theaters are not just the game in the town now, but the streaming platforms like Netflix, Amazon have been the game changer. Most of us don't even remember the last time we've been to theaters. Did you know that the global box office revenue saw a drop of 70% during the pandemic? Though the theaters have reopened, but the numbers haven't completely bounced back. In contrast, the global OTT market saw a bloom of consistency of growing 20% each year. In fact, the previous year, OTT platforms were able to bring in new subscribers, millions of new subscribers, not only changing the way we consume the content, but leaving us wondering about the future of traditional theaters. As we unpack the answers to these questions, I welcome you all to episode 4 of In Focus Fading Lights, the future of cinematic experiences. Today, I will be introducing you all to our esteemed panelists, and also we will be discussing on questions like how OTT has impacted the traditional theaters, and can cinema make an reinvent in this landscape. As we unwind these questions and move forward, let me introduce you all to the brilliant minds joining us. We have Ishan Kumar Singh, Mehak Bharti, Kritika Vyahati, and Shrutakirti M. They are undergraduate third year students pursuing journalism and mass communication. At just age of 20, they are going to voice the generation that is seeing a rapid change in the media landscape. They, here as a dynamic group, are going to bring fresh mindset on the topic today. For the segment 1, we have decline of theaters. To kickstart the topic, we will discuss about something that we all have noticed, the decline of traditional theater. Over the past few decades, people have been buying less tickets. And the pandemic of 2020 only helped in the downgraph. But the question is it the temporary slump or the big screen experience is actually fading away?
Well, according to me, yes, the big extreme experiences is actually fading away because, as you said, as you mentioned, the data, OTT platforms have been blooming since 2020. But at the very same time, if you look at the cinemas, they are again gaining back their support. So, according to me, it totally depends upon how you are attracting the audience. If at all you are able to advertise your film in such a way that audience will feel like, oh, instead of sitting in home and looking it in the OTT, if at all I'm going in theater and then I'm having I want to experience that experience which I can get only in theater, then obviously you can see the very same audience in the theater. So I think it totally depends upon the people who are making the film and how they are advertising it.
I feel I do agree with what Ishan said because nowadays youth they tend to see the trailers, they tend to see the reviews, and then they decide if they want the experience in the movie theaters or they just want to relax on their sofas and watch the same thing on OTT. So yeah, I feel it's more of reviewing the thing first, then just going on an experience blindly trusting the producer or the directors.
What I believe is like OTT gives us a convenience at sitting home and watching them. But when it comes to movies, yeah, it's depriving day by day. And the thing is, if there's a blockbuster actor or actress coming on the screen, people have still the craze to go and watch them. So, there's one kind of, switch, but at the same time, there's still the old thing going on at the same time. And there are few things like they said there should be some enhancement at the same way so they can drag people around. So I believe in what they say.
What I want to say is like from what I have seen is that people are like very busy right now. Their lifestyles are very hectic, and with this work culture that we have right now, it is not possible for a working person in their mid 20s 30s to take time from their busy schedule to go and watch movies in the theaters. And after this pandemic has been after this pandemic, when this new normal came, the theaters have hyped up their game. It's more luxurious and things are becoming more costlier. It's much more costlier to go to theaters than it was a few years ago. And all the movies are finally coming to OTT screens in the end. So there are like a few people who would prefer to watch it in OTTs because of this reason, that they don't have time to, watch it in theaters, go or spend that much money. They don't have that much income, spare income to pay for all of those. And if it's coming in Netflix, Prime, Hotstar, Hulu, whatever, so why not watch there, which is way much cheaper. But the experience will not be there, the grand experience of theater won't be there, but it is the same content that is being consumed. So it depends on the demographic of people, of how it is and things like that. It's what I believe.
So, do you think that OTT platforms are, influencing the shift of the traditional theaters?
Obviously they are, like somewhere or the other they are shifting the traditional view. Like earlier how there was only one DD Nation, people used to sit, it was like a celebration, a festival, like okay, today we are going to watch a movie, like that feeling has gone. It's like anytime, anywhere, anyhow, in whatever situation you are, okay, this movie, no, this is boring, next one. So the feeling, that celebration of enjoying a movie has somewhere vanished.
So, you think the convenience and the accessibility that OTT is providing is somewhere taking away the traditional theater
Yeah.
experience?
Yeah, because see, it was like, okay, mommy, papa, I am going to watch the movie. Like, we'll buy popcorn, we'll do this, we'll do that. Do you hear people talking like that? I feel the generation that is about to come won't even understand the feeling of that. It was a festival, it was a celebration in itself. So I think that is being banished away. So yeah.
So, do you think the theaters can actually come back or the experience, the magic experience of the cinemas can come back to life?
Yeah, obviously they are coming back. For example, taking the stats into account, there are 40,000 of screens in US, and almost 20,000 of them were shut after the COVID. But by the time 2021, 2022 arrived, most of them were they got opened because of the films which were being posted or which were being kept in that particular cinema hall. For example, if you talk about the film which was Deadpool and Wolverine, it came out in 2024. So the box office of that particular film was almost a billion. So if you think that film theaters are going down, then how a particular film can make so much of money out of a box office? They should not. They should only be able to make money in an OTT platform. But they are going to release their OTT platform on October 5th. I think they have released it also. So before releasing in OTT itself, if they have made so much money in box office, then it clearly shows the very same fact that film theaters are not dying. So it totally depends upon the film and yes, the film enthusiast.
Adding on to like what Ishan said, we have in South India we see all these very mass actors like Vijay, Tala, everyone's movie, Rajnikant's movie, where people go there at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning to see first day, first show. So we are coming from such a culture where actors and their movies are seen in such high regard. So until that fan community is alive, theaters will stay in business. It might not be thriving as before, but it will be there. Even if it is in a small scale, theaters will prevail till I think this generation dies off. Till that time.
I would like to add a point of Mehak. Like she said, it's convenience and everything. Not only the convenience here it matters. It's also about the price. The price amount we are paying for one movie is equal to the amount of movies we can watch like the whole month. Okay, so that's also. And the other thing, like Ishan said about he compared the other film theaters outside the world. So there are a few theaters out where they make an interactive session with the audiences. For example, we even tried that in our country. Jab We Met, when we re-released on the theaters, people actually dressed up that way, and they enjoyed that. And when the songs were played, they were actually dancing and making videos, and it was trending. So such alive movements, if that can be brought back, I think there's no one who can stop the theaters and the movies running through this. Yeah.
So with that, we'll move to our second segment. And second segment is all about the cinematic experience. So what's so special about cinematic experience? Cinematic experience is not just about movies. It's about the surround sound, the big screen, and the atmosphere. So do you think that atmosphere is somewhere or the other recreatable in our daily lives? I mean, not at home, but as the times are changing and we have accessibility and convenience to everything, do you think we can replicate the same
So,
atmosphere?
as how Kritika just mentioned, that in the theaters they dressed up like the character, and then they came. Also, in our college, few days back, we had this Cinemates mise en scène where we all had different Bollywood, Tollywood, Sandalwood, and we dressed up and we decorated the class. So yes, if we like inculcate events like this in our daily life, we can actually enjoy the movies and their essence.
According to me, if at all you are putting on a AC in a room and imagining that we are in a snow world, then it won't make any sense. If at all you want to enjoy the very essence of a snow, you have to go to a place where you can enjoy it like Jaisalmer. So, taking account from the very same example, if at all you want to enjoy a particular film, you must go to the theater. Yeah, I do agree with the fact that OTT platforms are replacing the very same thing. But if at all the people who are running the cinema halls, if at all they are including all the changes, the developments which they need to make, for example the comfortness which people get in their home, if at all they are getting those comfortness in the theater hall after obviously paying some amount of money,
Yeah.
then I think the film enthusiasts actually would like to come in the theater. And totally it totally depends upon how you are selling your film. The people should be convinced to spend that particular amount in the particular cinema hall if at all they want to experience that. If you're not able to convince them, then it's actually the problem from the film.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, like he was telling, it's all about immersive experience. So, we already have this 4DX system, and the theaters right now, they have introduced this smoke system, the scent system, and when we see a car on the screen and it's sliding towards right, even our chairs are gonna slide towards right or left. Even if we are gonna see some rain scenes and we are gonna have some droplets on our face. So that's kind of immersive experiences we can get through theaters. But when it comes to OTT, it's just like trend going on, binge watch, like one day whole episodes gonna get over and all that. So when it comes to the theaters, I think that can't be compared in this way.
Okay. So, do you think that the magic of cinema or watching the cinema in theaters cannot be changed? That is irreplaceable.
That is. How can you replace the experience? Like,
Right.
Yeah, like,
the comfort, the coziness which we are talking about while watching through OTT, PVRs are availing that as well. We get our blankets, you just need to pay the amount, and then you get everything you want. So, the experience that you feel, the Dolby sounds that you have in the atmosphere, like you can't experience that at home, to be honest.
Supporting her very same point. For example, we have a film, Godzilla versus King Kong. If at all you are watching, it's a 3D film. If at all you are watching it in a cinema hall, you will literally feel like, oh, that particular Godzilla is the car is coming towards me, and the very same thing. But if you are watching the very same thing in your home, it will become a comedy show. You will not at all feel like that car is coming towards me. It will feel like it's going out of the television screen. So if someone is saying that OTT is completely going to replace cinema, then it's an utter joke. It cannot happen. But yeah, at the very same time, the people who are producing film should keep that thing in mind, that yes, OTT is giving them a very good competition.
Right.
Yeah.
right. So, with this, we'll move on to our third segment, that is OTT versus traditional theaters. So, OTT have been on crown, like these both traditional theaters and OTT have been the king of entertainment right now. And OTT definitely has taken in crown with the convenience and accessibility it is giving. But like you all said, that theater is still having the magic. It's been an champion in the way of entertainment. So my next question is, do you think that one of them can take over the other, can lead further?
Yeah, obviously, one of them can lead if a certain particular area, like cinema, we have two areas, right? Cinema and OTT. If one of them is not at all mindful of how they should step further in the future, looking at their competition, then obviously one particular area will take over the other. For example, in our class, our teacher was teaching us that in the very same month of October, so many films from the Bollywood side are being released in cinema halls that they are literally competing each other. Why the very same audience? For example, Stree 2, when that particular film was released, no other competition of that particular genre was available at that point of time. So all the audience single-handedly went to cinema hall to watch Stree 2. Even today, Stree 2 is there in the PVR halls and people are going to watch it. Because the time in which it was released, the people were not having any other option. But look at this particular area. I think Martin, Devra, and one movie, Jigra, all the very same films of very same genre are released at the very same month. So the very same audience will be divided. And when they will be divided, the overall collection from the box office will also get divided, which will further lead to the failure of film. And again, which will further lead to the declination of the cinema.
And as well as that, as we take for example, like there's a controversy going on in the film Jigra.
Right.
They're saying there's a manipulation of the booking of tickets and the rating of the movie. So that kind of cases will come. The main factor here is when they release the movie, the audience, they confuse the audience like what to watch at that point of time. I think that should be decided, and along with that, they should also see which genre they're releasing. If there's same genres releasing at that point of time, it doesn't make sense. So that should be looked after, and along with that, the experiences in the visual. If like example, this I forgot the word.
Godzilla.
No. The Bollywood, I mean the Hollywood movie. I forgot it. Okay. So even you can take the Hindi film Brahmastra. If you see the same movie in the OTT, so it will just like you can just understand the visuals and the sound and everything. So in this way, we have like the magic of cinema can't go fade away.
Adding to what
Yeah.
Okay. Adding to what Ishan and Kritika said, I feel that the price is somewhat okay. Let's say I just went to watch the movie. So I had the options between too many movies. I had to choose what genre I feel is like, gonna cheer me up. I chose that. But then somewhere or the other, I feel that it's like, someone who has the option to choose will obviously choose to what they feel the best for. And if you restrict the options, they'll go with the obvious. And like let's say Netflix, you have to pay 199 per month as subscription amount, whereas when you go to watch a movie it starts from 200, 150. And I don't think someone who can watch so many movies in just 199 would buy two to three tickets to go and watch the movie. So yeah, that is somewhere, people are getting put back or like laid back because of that.
Like due to that, they have released the offers like this card you can avail of 3 to 4 movies a month. So that kind of the offers and all this kind of things comes up, then it will definitely encourage the audience to go rewatch the movies, no matter if it is re-released or even if it is going to be released as a new one. So this kind of thing that would really encourage the audience this way.
Adding on to what like everyone had said, when it comes to OTT like versus like when literally putting as theaters, I saw Top Gun Maverick in the theater, and that was an experience that if I watched it in OTT, I would have never gotten it. At the same time, there is this Malayalam movie called as Sufim Sujata, which is the first movie to release in OTT platform from Malayalam in the industry. And that movie would have done so poorly if it was released in this theaters. It stars Aditi Rao Hadri, and that movie is so like calm, peace. It doesn't have that much effects, sound effects, nothing. It's just in the name itself you can get it's about Sufism and a lady called Sujata. So it's a movie about that. So it depends on what type of content is being put and to whom it is being like targeted, as I put before also. And also when it another one of the instance was that when Black Widow was released, Scarlett Johansson had her income mainly from the tickets that would be sold. So from the income of the theaters, she would have gotten her share from the movie. But what Disney, I think Sony did was that it released the cinema at the same time in the OTT, which affected her income, which affected her livelihood, to be exact. So it plays a very important role in other people's life as well. If you prefer OTT, if OTT is the one that is being preferred or the only one that is prevalent in the coming years, a lot of jobs is going to be lost in the meantime. And so it might affect the income of actors, directors, producers. All of these things is also it's also should be an important thing to keep in mind as well. So that is one of the main focus areas of like what I would think about the main conversation about OTT versus theaters would be. So,
but then if you see several movies such as Manthan, which was the first movie which was crowd-funded, to be honest, the funding was not much. It was 5 lakh farmers who individually paid 2 rupees each, getting the crowd funding for the movie. But such movies I don't feel can be published or released on theaters. It can be published in the OTTs. So these are few of the minor things that we need to keep in mind while releasing it on theaters or on OTTs.
Well, I think that OTT has always been a second form of income generation. So, if at all you are using that, coming to the month end specifically, if at all you're using that second form of income generation to put that film on theater and again generating the very same income, then I think it's going to benefit you. And now, again, supporting Shruti Kirti's point in OTT versus theater, I think personally that it morely depends upon the genre of the film. For example, if the film is horror, mystery,
Yes.
suspense, with good graphics, action film like KGF 2, RRR, Top Gun Maverick, then people will certainly go in theater to experience the hooting,
yeah.
the experience the visuals, the sound effects and
Yeah,
everything.
right.
But if at all you are putting a romance kind of film, then I think people would love to watch that film in private
Right.
so that they can have a better experience and they will not prefer incoming theaters. So I think it totally depends upon the genre and how the people who are making the
Right.
film are selling it.
So with that, you bring me to my next question. That is, if the OTT platform or the OTT services were available at the time of the golden age of Bollywood, do you think the blockbuster movies would be still blockbuster?
That is something to be very, discussed and debate about. I feel that not really. The essence that it served, I don't feel that we would feel the same thing if we watched that on OTT.
Well, I think that at that point of time we wouldn't have been, access to much of the internet and mobile phones. Then OTT platform for us would have been television.
Yeah.
That with the release of that particular film in the theater, the very same film is being released in the television as well.
Right.
So during that time also there were a huge amount of people who were who were fan of Salman, Shah Rukh,
Yeah.
and Hrithik Roshan and all that. So if at all the very same things used to happen that time, even in that time many films would have been blockbuster. For example, there is a film Tismar Khan.
Yeah.
We all love it.
Yeah.
Whomever you will ask, do you like this Tismar Khan? Everyone will say yes, yes, yes. But that film was an utter flop on box office.
Hera Fairy also.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Hera Fairy. One more film, Ravan.
Yeah.
That Ravan
Yeah.
Jeevan
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
So any kid who is from Gen Y or Gen Z, if you'll ask
Yeah.
them, do you like that particular film? They will be like, yeah, I can watch it again.
Yeah.
But if you look at their box office records, it's very contradicting.
Right, right.
So I think yes, the very same films would have been blockbusting. Again, the factors remain same.
Yeah.
They should advertise it properly. Genre and all matters,
Right.
and the audience should be film enthusiast. Because you
Yeah.
can literally Google Mount Everest and look at Mount Everest, and there are people who wants to enjoy it, so they climb up Mount Everest.
Right.
So it depends on you as a person.
Yeah.
So, okay, so with that, I have another controversial question. How do you think a movie is successful? Is it successful on the box office, or the OTT success is also counted? What are your views on it?
As long as the movie lives,
Yeah.
I feel that's how the success should be counted.
Like, I will take an example of Lapata Ladies.
Yes.
Okay, it was like utter flop on the theaters, and when it came to OTT, people loved it. And it's nominated in the Oscars now. Like, see, the magic here. It's just, the movies is about like how we remember them. It's all about the experience, what we get from them. And sometimes the matters is genre also, where it is placed and how it is advertised. It didn't have much of advertising. Because at one point, because there were like no nepotism, and new actors were there, somewhere people loved that too, and there was something new different content come up in the OTT or the theaters, because every time we sees the same story and we already can predict what's going to happen next. So somewhere that brought and like enthusiasm in the movie to watch Regain, and brought a live experience, what's happening out there. So
Adding on to what about Ravan was mentioned, Hera Fairy was mentioned, which is considered as cult classics nowadays because of that reason. I want to tell one movie from Malayalam Mollywood, which is known as Aad. It was released when I was way back in school. I don't think I was in secondary or high school, somewhere around that time. And that movie was a very like huge flop of a movie, and we with my family went and saw that movie, and honestly, me and my sister, we love that movie. And the production house, Friday Film House, they incurred a very huge loss because of this movie. And people were like the producer was like very, sad, and because of this reason, because they have put a lot of creativity into that movie. And then after a while, the movie became popular in Telegram. People started sending that movie everywhere. Channels wanted to buy that movie from them because of its popularity. It became the center of memes, and everyone started loving that movie once it started to come in, TV channels, and then this one, Telegram, and all the legal sites. This was before OTT. And then the people, they took the decision of making the second part of the movie, Ard 2, which became one of the biggest hits of that production house. Nobody would, think that the first movie that is a flop, it would have a second part, which is the greatest like movie in that sequel. And the directors came to the media, and they were like, it would have been great if we got this response before itself. And it is one of the biggest brain rots ever. It is not that of social messages there, nothing. It's just something fun past thing to see. And because of the success of that movie, we are getting now a third part as well. So it depends on the audience. Depends on the time that you are in. I think at this point, if Ravan was released, it would be Shah Rukh Khan's one of greatest movies, like better than his previous all movies, Dunki, Pathan, and everything. It would have done so much great. And there is technological advancements now as well, so the movie would be much better than it was before. So I think that also plays a very important role in how we perceive movies. So to see if a movie is flop or like it's a hit, we need to see how much people like it, how much people perceive it. But from an artistic perspective, it's about how people like it and how people perceive it.
So to that, I have a question. Do you think if Om Shanti Om was re-released, it would be a greater hit than it was in the past?
I mean, I like the
subjective,
movie,
yeah.
so it's subjective. So if I'm seeing from my like
No,
thingness
would you go
perspective-
to the theaters again to watch that movie?
No.
See, for example, what happened is like one of the best movie, I feel like it's my favorite movie, is Jab We Met. And what happened, I watched it in the theater like long back. I watched it in OTT, and I watched re-released movie in theater. So you know the craze of movie, like we Indians, we worship the actors and actresses. Especially if you come in the South, you worship them. You you have them pujas, and
Pouring milk over they posted.
the theaters. There's a lot of craze happening out there. So sometimes it depends on the movie.
Well, not coming to Sallu Bhai personally because I love my career. But yeah, totally agreeing with Shrutakirti that it totally depends on person to person, that if at all they are liking the film, then the film will be considered as successful. But at the very same time, we should not forget the fact that money matters too. If at all the person who has invested in the film, that should be the director, actor, producer, anyone, if they have invested in that particular film, if they are not able to generate the very same amount, then they will not be able to do such projects in upcoming future. So doing good in blockbuster and OTT is equally important to judge a film's success. So if at all they are not doing good in blockbuster in theaters, then they should certainly do good in OTT, because there is only two types of environment in which an audience can watch a film. Either they can watch it in theater or they can watch it in their home. If they are not at all liking it in any of these environments, then the film is deserved to be an utter flop.
So this all sums up to what I said in the beginning, the life of the film.
There's a Kannada movie, Love Mocktail, that was released
Yeah.
in theaters and it was in flop.
Yeah.
But then when it was released on OTT, the directors came up with a second part, which was a hit in the cinema. So
Mocktail.
yeah, that sums up to what you all said. And this, I think Kritika told about the Lapata Ladies,
Yes.
which is nominated for Oscar. That brings me to another question. That Animal is also nominated for Oscar. And do you think that it's audience mistake that the misogynist movies are being, blockbuster hit, or they're being great success on the box office, and movies like Lapata Ladies are not even watched?
Well,
Yeah, you
okay.
can speak.
Well, I think sometimes the people, the audience who are watching, they are
Yeah.
not going for the message that film is given,
Yeah.
but rather they are going for the entertainment which they are getting for that film.
True.
Like for example, if at all I will start playing Arjun Velli, few of us will start doing like this. Not because we literally love that song, but because of the vibe which we are getting out of
Right,
that particular song. So I think it's not more of a message, it's more of a entertainment which they are getting. For example, Ranbir Kapoor is the person who is doing that particular film.
Right.
Yeah, obviously the plot is not good. He is literally calling gundas from Punjab, but again fighting alone.
Yeah.
But at the very same time, the scene in which he was going to bring gundas was something which could have given goosebumps to the people who are watching that scene in theater, and that's why they liked it. Oh, I'm getting the goosebumps. It means I like the film. So I wanted to go in Oscars. So I think that would have been the reason for the very same thing.
Yeah, at the same time, we have national crush Rashmika Mandan also to pull out the crowd. So yeah, actually actors, I said people worship here, country we live in. So mostly that and the vibe that this gives, the outfits, the film, that revolves around, that's actually, encourages people to watch. So like, even if, the word of mouth, people say it's nice, we go and watch them. Even if we
Yeah.
don't know how it's gonna be, at last that also works here.
That's where advertisement comes into the play.
Yeah.
Adding to that, I think the whole list of the movies that they had given was not good. I don't actually remember the exact words, but there was a letter that was sent to Oscars with the Lapata Ladies, which by reading it we can understand that the people who have nominated the movie has not seen the movie, has not understood what the movie is about. So I think it's more about buying the people and manipulating that and then sending it, because I'm not telling this because I am biased towards Mollywood, but I actually feel like Goat Life should have been there. It's a very sad movie. You cry to that movie. I have cried. I've seen my dad cry as well, reading that book and the movie, seeing the movie. So it gives us a very a variety of emotions inside of us. And that the director Blessy, he has gone, it took him 16 years to make that movie. So there has a lot of hardships from everyone in the crew. So I think that deserves that kind of appreciation. So there are many movies like that. In Kannada also there are movies which have which deserves these kinds of appreciation. So I think that would also should be there. Critically acclaimed movies also should have been included. The topic of male-centered movies is becoming more popular or anything like that, or it should have gone. I think it's about how much effort a person has put in or a team has put into the movie, and what kind of tale it tells about India, about the movie, about the life. And the movie Goat Life, it's about a real person. It's not a fictional story. So I think it deserves more appreciation that it has got. So
through this discussion, one thing is for sure, that one of the messages is that we need a criteria which Oscars is following to send a film in Oscars.
true.
We literally need those criterias, because the films stated by Shweta Kirti and few of other panelists, they literally needs to be in the Oscars list, but they are not.
Also, I feel that the vibe, the hype that Animal got was just because of the actors who was screened, because later when there was a survey where people were asked about what they felt about animal and how they take animal, the misogynistic view that is being shown about that, and I don't think anybody, not even a single person, said yeah I like it. Not even a single person was like, yeah, I like how Ranveer Kapoor was slapping or behaving with the wife and like everything. So there is different view of the audience, but the hype that was created was because of the advertisement and how they screened all the famous actors. It was Anil Kapoor and then Ranveer Kapoor, like you just see the people, and then that's the hype, that's what bringing the audience to the theaters.
And one of the main USPs for Animal was Bobby Deol's like great comeback.
Yeah.
The physical, change from what Bobby Deol was back then to what it is right now. So that was also one of the major reason, as people wanted to see him in, in a very big role, in a villain role. He's for the first time coming in a villain role. And somewhere it gave like a little bit Sanju vibes in the trailer, so people like wanted to see that also. And I know a lot of people would come and justify the movie, calling it as it's a story of an animal.
Yeah.
So it's just portraying that. True, it is portraying that, but it would have some kind of impact on people, and that is there. So I think responsibly you should make films a little bit.
True.
So even if you are telling that this is bad and then portraying, people will still follow that.
Yeah.
And as a nation where we worship actors, because I personally have seen actors as photo in people's homes with gods. So you need to, when actors choose their movies as well, a little responsibility, but it is good to experiment with your roles, change your image here and there from romantic chocolate boy to action hero. So that is also there.
Right.
With that, we've come to the last question. That is, the traditional theaters and OTT have been the two big kings of entertainment. So, how do you think these two big gains are redefining our experiences of watching movies?
I think it's overall, if you look at the film perspective, it's supporting and it's actually creating way more pathways for audience to enjoy, to be honest. For example, in previous times, either they have to go in theater to watch it, or they have to wait so that that particular film can be broadcasted in television and we can watch for it. But nowadays, just in a handful of weeks or a handful of months, we can have that very same film in the OTT, that too in 1080p or even in a better quality. So I think that as an audience, we have way more better options. But if you look at the film industry, I think they are competing with each other. By the time the competition is healthy, it's good. Both of them should be there. But by the time one of the area is dominating over other, it will actually somewhere kill our own source of entertainment as well.
So, with that, we've come to the end of this discussion. And as we wrap up this discussion, all I have to say is films are not just about visual storytelling, but films are about nostalgia, the bond we are sharing. It's about words, it's about stories, and it's about building connections and the emotions that we share as audiences. At the end, all I say is whatever we do, whatever decisions we make as an audience is going to impact the industry that we love the most. Therefore, we need to be very careful about our choices, and we need to encourage ourselves to maybe keep watching movies in the theater so that we have the same cinematic experiences as before, which will also help the cinema, theaters, and other things which are, going away from the limelight. With that, we encourage you all to keep continuing this conversation online by using the hashtag the future of cinema. Thank you. We thank our esteemed panelists for joining us for this insightful discussion. Thank you. This is your host, Prachi Dagal, signing off.